Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends GameStop exclusive Gamerverse Spider-Man, which is the Spider-Man based on the newest game, which is PlayStation exclusive, so I haven't played it, and I'm bummed out about it. But this figure is the topic of some contention. Some people are talking about how great it is and how accurate it is, and other people are saying how terrible and inaccurate it is. Which one is it? Well, we're going to talk about that, and so let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. And this guy stands just about 6.5 inches, which makes him just about 16.5 centimeters. And yes, we have seen this body before in its entirety, and so it is just a repaint. It's a relatively lazy way to make a new Spider-Man figure, which is not hyper accurate. I don't think the body type is wrong, though. He's relatively thick in the game. Not huge, but relatively thick. And it's not perfect, but it's definitely close enough build-wise that I don't really have a problem with it. I think it's okay. Now, obviously, we have a lot of details that are not there, like the mesh for the eyes, or the entire texturing for the suit, or even that kind of like web pattern in the suit, or the raised spider logo. Basically, all of those kind of details, the texture details, just not there. The eyes, not entirely accurate. Lots of the stuff is not there, so you could definitely make that argument. However, I think for a half-assed lazy repaint, it's still pretty good. And that's because what they did do pretty well. So, you know, you're going to have to pick your battles, I think, if you're talking about a $22 figure. Where we're going to get brand new tooling for everything. It's Hasbro, that's unlikely. Although, I think they definitely could have gone that route. I mean, we've seen it for almost all of the movie figures, or at least a lot of them, so it would have been nice to see it for this game figure, and since it's Spider-Man, it probably would have sold very well, but I'm guessing it did anyway, so they're laughing in their corporate offices about how much money they made. That being said, again, I do think they did a pretty good job. As you can see, the white's not perfect, but it is very clean. It looks good. I mean, it's not bad at all. We'll get into it a little bit more detail, but it's not bad. It is all right. When he leans back, the white continues. When he leans forward, the white continues. That's a good thing. There is some painted red and some molded red. It blends well enough together that you don't really notice it. The blue for the suit, while not perfectly accurate, it's all consistent. I mean, it's not a bad release. Let me just put it that way. As far as accessories go, we only have two sets of hands. We have the two fist hands and then the two thwipping hands. We really should have gotten another set, which is this set. The set that they show him using on the back of the box. Some of these guys right here. They already have the mold. It wouldn't have been hard, but they didn't do it. And then they also gave us these web lines, which we've seen before and are stupid, because there's just really no way to use them with that little triangle handle that's on there. It's not an effective thing. It should have just been a round thing that pegs on over the wrist. I mean, that would have been fine. Not pegs on. If you remove the hand and then put it on the wrist, it would have been fine, but the triangle thing is just silly. It doesn't really work. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the articulation, because that's kind of important for a Spooderman figure. He looks up really nicely. He looks down really nicely. Side to side, of course, no problem. Just a little bit of attitude. Not a ton, but enough. And the head sits nicely on the neck, so that's pretty good. Butterfly joint on this figure works really nicely. No problems at all, and it's painted throughout. I mean, I have a scuff on mine right here, but they painted the little spider leggies right there very nicely, so that's good. Shoulder, better than horizontal, so that's good. Full rotation. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Yeah, they didn't do this, which is funny because this is painted. As far as I can tell, the blue is painted on the bicep, and they still didn't paint the pegs. So I can see people are gonna get mad about that, but that's fair. It's a fair critique, but it's never gonna happen apparently, so you're gonna have to live with it, I guess. Wrist swivel works. Obviously, there's a hinge too, so that's fine. Paint job, again, not perfect, but it's good enough. It looks nice. Ab crunch I already showed you. It still ends up with a pot belly. Not the best situation, but that's okay. I mean, you don't notice it as much on this figure, at least. Plus, the fact that they continued the white lines makes me happy. Leaning forward, again, same thing. It's also worth noting that the white paint is a little bit glossy on this guy, and I think it's intentional. If it's not, they lucked out because it makes it look nice. It gives a nice composition to it. Waist twist is fine. Hips go forward pretty well. No real problems there. Going back, just the tiniest little bit. Out to the side is, for Spider-Man, it's not great. For any other figure, it's more than good enough. So, you know, it's okay. Although I'd like to point out that he has decent range in these hips, pretty good range, and it looks good. Like, there's no huge gapping or weird situation, but if you look at that Beast figure that they showed recently, Ooh boy, I called it when I first saw it, and then they showed that new pose where it's just like showing off his crotch, and it's awful. He's got an awful crotch. Thigh swivel is fine, double jointed knee. Yeah, it works, no problem there, very nice. Shin swivel is definitely the best one they've ever done. I commented on that last time they used this mold. It's basically seamless, very, very well executed. Foot goes all the way back, and it goes pretty far forward, definitely enough, and then we have almost a perfect swivel hinge ankle rocker. So yeah, it's not a perfect figure, but it's a really solid figure, and it's going to look great on the shelf because the little extra pops of white in there are going to make them stand out, and it's good enough. It's not perfect, but I definitely recommend it. If you can track one down, I think you're probably going to enjoy it. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That would help me out a whole bunch. And if you're not subscribed, you might want to do that because I do have new videos up just about every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.